Hello and welcome to the Diamond Report for Saturday, March 25th, 2017. This is your host, Doug Diamond. I've got us looking at the last 48 hours worth of earthquakes in my Earthquake 3D software, and I wanted to bring your attention to a magnitude 4.0 earthquake that struck Oklahoma in the last few hours. If you watch Dutch Sense at all on YouTube or Twitch, you will know that Oklahoma is now the new Madrid seismic zone. Because of the fracking that Oklahoma has endured, it has weakened the crust in Oklahoma, and now is one of the most prominent places for earthquakes, certainly in the United States. And that's because pressure transfers from the west coast through the Midwest and then up the East Coast along the North American craton. So I wanted to show you that, and also, if you watched the Diamond Report from yesterday, we were waiting to see the earthquake that would hit around Fiji, and that has now happened. 4.3 quake happened around Fiji. I mentioned that yesterday, that we were waiting for that to happen. It is a deep quake. It is a 556 kilometer quake, which is pretty deep, and that will cause further shallower, larger movement in the coming days. And if we look at the silent zones, that's where we look for further movement. And again, we've got quite a few silent zones through here, also around Japan, through the U.S. West Coast. So there's definitely going to be some further movement coming up in the next few days. And now on to the headlines. Self-driving Uber with passenger involved in Arizona collision. That's why we don't call these self-driving cars, we don't call them self-driving cars, we call them self-crashing cars, because that's what they do best. Chris Martenson, quote, "Why this market needs to crash and likely will." That's a peakprosperity.com article. Troubled. London attacker visited Saudi Arabia 3 times, told friend, "I want some effing blood." That's a Zero Hedge article. Kamchatka volcano awakens from 250-year slumber, spewing huge ash plume. It's a SputnikNews.com article. Kamchatka is in Russia. It's like a little peninsula north of Japan, between Japan and Alaska. McCain, the New World Order is under enormous strain. It's a ZeroHedge.com article. Las Vegas tourists flee in terror as the world-famous Bellagio Hotel is put on lockdown after a gang of armed robbers, including one in a pig mask, opened fire in Rolex store raid. Russia readies backup system for potentially explosive split with international banking system. There will be those who perish in the next crisis and those who survive in underground luxury. It's an SHTFplan.com article, as was the one before that. If you don't know what DUMBs are, deep underground military bases, I would suggest you go to Timothy Alberino's YouTube channel and check out his Alberino analysis that he did on DUMBs. Very interesting. The Alberino analysis may also be on the Gen 6 Productions YouTube channel as well, if you can't find it under Timothy Alberino's name. FBI, 500 missing children since 2017 may be part of an elite pedo ring. BBC, chemtrails to be recognized as new type of cloud. That's because there's so many of them, you can't help but notice them now. People are really waking up. Pandemic, bird flu found at multiple poultry farms in Alabama. That's a Natural News article. Hannity on healthcare bill. This is not President Trump's failure. It's a Breitbart story, as is this one. Flynn, tyranny of status quo means Obamacare forever after Congress whiffs on repeal. A USDefenseWatch.com article. Islamic terrorism strikes in London. America is next. Again. Google profits from jihadi training videos that teach mass murder, while Facebook gives thumbs up to kill white women posts. Art of the Deal healthcare bill failure, a way to oust Paul Ryan and achieve full repeal of Obamacare? Let's hope so. It's a GatewayPundit.com article. Trump tweets, hope for a great healthcare plan for the people. also Gateway Pundit. NYPD betrays FBI, says seized laptop shows Clinton covered up Weiner's child sex crimes. From the freethoughtproject.com, JFK researchers, Trump at greater risk of assassination than any other president. NSA whistleblower says NSA spied on Congress, the Supreme Court, and Trump. It's an Information Liberation article. Poland and Greece plot Brussels mutiny as Britain stays away from backslapping EU summit. Freak weather strikes Middle East. Flash floods, dust storms, and hail cause Arabian carnage. And that's an Express article. I would definitely recommend going to geoengineeringwatch.org, my good friend Dane Wigington's website, for more information on weather warfare and how the Earth's weather systems are completely off the rails at this point. Emergency alert. Elites trying to kill Trump. That is an InfoWars Kit Daniels article. Heavy equipment for French troops of NATO battalion arrive in Estonia. It's a Sputnik News article. MAGA vets rally alongside Pizzagate protesters in Washington, D.C. It's a Gateway Pundit article. Pope Francis tells EU leaders populism is egotism. That's a Breitbart article. As is this one, Britain's mainstream media blames racism for Westminster attack. Here's another bird flu article. 73,000 birds to be slaughtered in Tennessee. It's a Natural News article. How come famine has become a weapon that rich and powerful employ against the poor? They can see a stick of butter from space, the billion-dollar spy agency you've never heard of. That's a Free Thought Project article. Exclusive discussion about GOP replacement to Paul Ryan as Speaker of the House intensifies in the White House and Congress. The EU experience is over. Protesters take to the streets of Rome as leaders gather. New hedge fund fee structures reveal traditional model on verge of collapse. The Zero Hedge article. Google and social media companies could be prosecuted if they show extremist videos. London terror attacker was not lone wolf. Lawrence O'Donnell calls Trump laziest, most ignorant president. Hillary Clinton and Nancy Pelosi respond to health care bill being pulled. That's a Weasel Zippers article. Rand Paul takes victory lap on GOP health bill. From The Hill. Exclusive. Benghazi heroes warning to Democrats to stop. U.S. veterans and private security contractor breaks down left's attempts to foment a civil war. Former NSA chief. Obama illegally surveilled Trump. Video. Democrats admit plan to have refugees vote. Footage shows Democrat operative admitting illegals strongly encouraged to vote Dem. Stone. Obama to be brought down by illegal spying. Republican operative says Obama will be held accountable for illegally monitoring Trump campaign communications. Judge sides with Trump administration, refuses to block travel ban. It's a Daily Caller article. Al Gore says, I've got 10 GOP senators ready to fight Trump on global warming. That's from The Independent. If you want to know what's really going on with global warming, I suggest you go over to geoengineeringwatch.org and read some of Dane Wigington's articles. He lays it all out. Uber, self-driving vehicle involved in Arizona crash. We covered that earlier, but you got to remember and call them self-crashing cars. Emergency alert, elites trying to kill Trump. Trump nears point of first term when Reagan was shot as celebs make death threats. The truth about Trump's failure to repeal Obamacare. Alex Jones breaks down why the left will now have to own the monumental failure that is Obamacare. And then Alex Jones on what happens if they kill Trump. The establishment hates Trump's populism and anti-globalist America First agenda. A German bank accidentally transferred $5.4 billion to 4 other banks. That's a Bloomberg article. Now that's loopy. Behold the Big Bend, the incredible U-shaped New York skyscraper dubbed the longest building in the world is unveiled. Steve Quayle says, as reader who sent this stated, the largest arch of Baal in the world? If you haven't seen that picture, you got to see it. It's on the Daily Mail. U.S. warships harassed by Iranian forces in the Strait of Hormuz. Navy commanders. That's an RT.com article. Russia probe erupts into open warfare. Globalist-controlled establishment prepare to attack. That's a LisaHaven.news article. Greg Hunter of USAWatchdog.com looks at this week's top stories in the weekly news wrap-up. Greg nails the official lie-in about the spying. Yeah, you got to check out Greg's website, USAWatchdog.com. Free online courses will teach anyone DNA sequencing. If you want to change the yeast in beer or splice genes in an organism, this is the intro class for you. Steve says, watch what goes terribly wrong as thousands of Dr. Moreau's surface. Yeah, absolutely. Scary stuff. My last ever video, Paul Joseph Watson, defines the battle for YouTube, and anyone who challenges the leftist dialogue is called an extremist, as they block all YouTube videos. Breaking. Canada passes motion to silence critics of Islam. Watch how fast Canada's major cities experience Germany's and France's crisis as their cities begin to burn. That's a LifeSiteNews.com article. Obama was heavily listening to what was going on in the Trump campaign, guilty of the Espionage Act. It's a Zero Hedge article. Ghost, hobbits, or cannibals? The legend of Ibu Gogo, the secret tribe of wild grandmother flesh eaters. It's an ancient-origins.net article. Feminist writer says being a stay-at-home mom should be illegal. Steve says doctors would have no problem operating on this lady because her lady parts and head are both interchangeable. OBGYN meets neurosurgery. And from one of my favorite websites, geoengineeringwatch.org, my good friend Dane Wigington, of which I am the webmaster. Geoengineering, methane eruptions, and imploding Arctic ice. Massive methane eruptions are pushing the planet toward Venus syndrome. The climate engineering cabal is completely committed to chemically ice nucleating the polar regions. Yeah, I definitely suggest you go take a look at that article. It explains a lot. Deadly underwater volcano expected to erupt after ocean surface recently changed 400 kilometers south of Tokyo. That's a bigwobble.org article. Rick Wiles, Artificial Intelligence, Robotics, Singularity, and the Next Society. It's on TrueNews.com. Here's yesterday's Diamond Report. Thank you to Steve for that. How will 260 million Americans disappear in less than 8 years? Deagle has America sitting just above Venezuela by 2025, with purchasing power of U.S. dollar ranked 78th in the world. That's an all-news pipeline article. Another religion of peace terrorist maims and kills again. It's a Reagano.com article. Here's an article from the Common Sense Show. The independent media is on life support. Total tyranny will follow. Trolls as young as 13 years old will have the ability to flag YouTube sites that they don't like. 3 flags result in the deletion of your YouTube channel. We're headed down a slippery slope, folks. Daily Mail, Ukrainian arms warehouse storing 138,000 tons of rockets and tank ammunition is blown up by saboteurs, forcing 20,000 to be evacuated. Smart dust. Real-time tracking of everything, everywhere. It's a technocracy.news article. Tucker Carlson can't sleep after the NSA agent told him the one thing that'll bury Obama last night. Trump is cheering. It's a LibertyWriters.com article. Russia readies backup system for potentially explosive split with international banking system. To put it more bluntly, a war to reset the global financial order is about to be unleashed. Researchers think portals may link our visible world with the dark sector. It's a Futurism.com article. Former Muslim sends dire warning to entire world. Islamists only seek Sharia-compliant world and whoever is in their way is their enemy, while millions of liberals continue to embrace their agenda and America's destruction. Yes, that's exactly what's going on. That's at allnewspipeline.com article. Well, thank you for listening and watching the Diamond Report today. And if you would, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. It's youtube.com/diamonddisc. And please share this video with others when I'm trying to get the word out on the real news, not CNN and the other vomit brokers' fake news. We'll see you tomorrow.